So today we are combining my favorite things. We are going to do tea time and we're going to do some cards. So I am drinking a nice hot latte. It is latte. It's on my website. What do I call it on there? It's called Ganny Spice and it's named after, or really, it's inspired by my mom because my nephews and all of them, they call her Ganny, and it's just supposed to be this warming energy of like the mothers, like the her mothers and her mother's mothers and all of those people that really made you feel warm, safe, and at home. So that was the inspiration, and then I made it into a nice latte. So if you were somebody who's trying to get off of coffee, tea lattes will save your life because you still get that feeling of like having your morning latte, but it's tea. So that's what we're gonna do, and I think I'm gonna do a different day. I'm gonna do something probably where I'll have to read it because it's been a minute since I used some of these. But we're gonna do oracle cards today, and maybe I'll pull like one tarot card because I really pull the tarot cards for everybody. But I'm feeling it today. Um, so let's see. Maybe we'll start with like a tarot themed card. I don't know. So one of my favorite things to do is to be in conversation with myself throughout the day. And I'm realizing it's not just me in conversation with myself, it's conversation with me and my spirits and my spirit guides and my ancestors. And I'm learning how to determine who I'm talking to based on the situation. But you know, for sometimes I think it makes us uncomfortable. We're like, what? I'm talking to other people? Like, where they at? But like more of still thinking of it as talking to yourself, like spending time with your soul throughout the day. So that's kind of how I've been looking at it. Because I really do be in conversation with myself for the whole day. Um, and today, the conversation was centering around like having multiple purposes in life. Like, you're not just one thing, you are many things. And I know me, I try to get categorized in the same category. Like, I try to be one person, I try to fit into one category. Good afternoon, Storytelling Tarot. Um, I try to fit into a space. And a lot of the times, the conversation, especially today, has been like, you don't have to fit into a particular space. Like, let's see, how can I explain that? Um, you have multiple purposes. It keeps going back to like, there are multiple purposes of you being present. Hi. There are multiple purposes of you being present and showing up and being all of those things, being all of those people. And so, what it's helping me to do is get more comfortable doing things like this, being in community like this, doing some of my favorite things. So, we're bringing tea and the cards into the chat today. And hello there. And so, I'm just gonna do one tarot card and then I wanted to do like oracle cards. So, if y'all missed the beginning, the tea that we're drinking today is actually one of them that's on my website, but it's a rooibos chai. So if you love a chai, rooibos is actually a really good base. Like if you want to get away from caffeine, you can do rooibos instead of the black tea for your chai. And then for the people who just love coffee or lattes, you can still make a latte with your tea. The website is centersageremedies.com. It might be in my profile. I'm not sure. But yeah, centersageremedies.com. And so, yeah, so I have a lot of different blends on there, but they're all about like getting reconnected to yourself. And so this blend specifically is about like returning home to yourself, getting connected to the mother of the mothers of the mothers of the mothers. It was named after what my nephews and niece call my mom, Ganny Spice. And so it's just this warming feeling of being in the kitchen, being nurtured by all of the women, all of the people of your lineage who love you the most. And so, oh, that's beautiful. I'm sorry. That would be really beautiful though. But it's just getting us connected back to those mothers because I feel like the mothering energy is present and it's like they have something to say, and they part of it is they want you to start saying what you have to say. Oh man, okay, that takes me back to a dream I had last night where I was giving a speech and one of my friends were giving a speech, and I think something she said in her speech. I had my whole speech prepared and I was ready, but something she said in her speech made me, when it was my turn, not speak up and say what I wanted to say. Because I didn't want to offend her based on the speech that she gave. So I ruined my whole. You definitely want to get a coffee. No, you can drink your coffee. You can drink your coffee. I love coffee too. But in the dream, she wanted, I didn't want to offend her. So I had this whole speech that I was prepared for and planned to share, and I didn't say anything. So I got up there, I stumbled, I tried to come up with a whole new speech, like on spot, and I couldn't think of one. And I ruined my whole moment because I was so worried about offending her with what I was prepared to say. And so I feel like that's a lot of that energy, that mothering energy that's like, girl, you need to say what you need to say. Like, get up there and say what you need to say. So the card, oh, look at that. We got the Three of Earth, the Three of Pentacles. This really is, it's really about gathering. It's like nourishment, the nourishment that happens in gathering, the safety, the community, the home you feel in gathering with people. I love this deck. This is the Herbcraftors tarot deck. It's my favorite, especially as an herbalist, because sometimes I think about the plant. And so this plant is raspberry. And so a lot of times we use raspberry tea leaf. Thank you. So look, I keep joining the comment section. This man, when I was at the store today, this old man, he was rolling around in his cart and he stopped me. He was like, oh, that's sharp. I like that. You look good in them overalls. And I was just as giddy as ever after he said that. So I like to look at compliments as like reminders, like, oh, remember? Like, yeah. So thank you for saying that. But raspberries, we use raspberry tea leaf to support the reproductive system. And anytime we're working with our reproductive system, we are opening our womb. We're doing womb work. We're doing creative work, the ability to like birth something into the world, into a space. It really is. Comment section is really where it's at, especially when people are like really talking. So I like that. This is fun. And, it just makes me, this one brings me back to what happens when we get into our creative spaces, our creative mind, and our ability to create, but we do it in community. Like we gather in order to create. And so, yeah, raspberries, raspberry tea leaf, that's all about nourishment. That's all about heart-centered alignment. It's very closely related to the rose, which I love talking about, which is all about realigning with your soul's purpose, with your soul in general. And it has a very mothering energy. So again, this is in the same family, plant-wise, as the rose. And so, yeah, this is definitely a gathering energy with the mothers at the center. And so, yeah, I definitely invite that into my space. I didn't do a good job of it today, but that's what I'm learning is they're still present. They're like, yeah, girl, we know you are human and you don't always get it right, but the intention of showing up is real. So the other cards I want to pull from were the Oracle decks. I just wanted to see what wanted to come out for us. During this tea time, I use Abiola Abrams African Goddess Rising deck. She has another one that I like. What's the other one? The Secrets of the Ancestors. I really like that one. Oh my goodness, you have a lovely day too. Thank you for dropping in. So this one is one of my favorites because what it does is it combines the Oracle deck and it relates it to a tarot card. And so for me, it helps me to understand, like, if we're thinking of this as an energy or, an ancestor or a person or even yourself, if you are somebody who's well-versed in tarot, it helps to, yay! It helps to really connect that for me. Because I think I understand the tarot characters. I'm going to call them characters. They call them something else, archetypes. But when I'm looking at new decks or learning about new people, oracles, deities, gods and goddesses, I don't always know that deck is the major arcana and the court cards from the tarot. Yes, I believe that's probably why you like it a lot, storytelling tarot, because it really does bring that aspect back. to the even the oracle reading. But yeah, I like learning about the gods and goddesses and the deities they put in these decks. And so when they relate the tarot to it, it makes it make more sense for me. Hey there. All right, so I'm gonna do this one for tea time. All right, so two of them came out, which is manifestation, and soul forgiveness. Hold on, this one got, make sure it's soul forgiveness, but it looks like a mother and it's her children looking up at her, or a feminine figure, and the children are looking up at her, admiring her, and there are flowers everywhere. And so the first thing I think about when I look at that card is the grief in the mourning, grief in mourning of the soul journey, of the soul's purpose, of living out your soul's purpose. And I even see this, rather than the mother and the kids, I see this as different versions of the self, almost like your inner child watching who you've become. Look, because it also came with the manifestation card, so that's a good one. Watching who you've become, watching the person that they've poured into, that they've spent time trying to help you reconnect to, or just create, and like being able to really stand in that beauty, in that change, in that season of all these things that you have manifested, that you have created, that you have put into the world. And it's like this, they just remind me of admiration. They're sitting there and they're looking, and it's admiration, and you're really sitting in your authority, your personal authority. So I think, when I think of that, I really do think of the soul's journey that it took to get here. And so this deck, this says, who do you need to forgive? Let it go and reclaim yourself. Forgiveness is a gift of freedom for you, from you. You can't rush forgiveness. You have to feel it to heal it. Feel the pain, hurt, grief, rage, and despair. Take the time with your heart. Forgiveness is a higher vibration frequency than the pain you must allow yourself to feel. Unforgiveness colors your world with lack, mistrust, and resentment. You start to see everything through victim-colored glasses, but forgiveness does not have to include reconciliation. Start with forgiveness. Say out loud, I forgive myself with love. So again, like, even when you think of your inner child looking at who you've become now, and a lot of times we look back and we wish we would have done it differently before. Like, we grieve the decisions that we didn't make at what we felt like was the right time. And this is asking you to free yourself and to forgive those versions of you that made the choices that they did then, because they were doing the best they can. And then also, even I want to spin that and look at the version of you then that was able to make the choices that got you out of spaces you no longer wanted to be in, and how beautiful that is. So let me see the other one. And I think that one's really relevant, especially when I was talking about the dream, and I was talking about how I had a speech that I was going to give, but I didn't want to offend my friend. So after I heard her speech, I no longer gave the speech that I intended to give in the dream. And that's really reflecting this need to not just people please, but to self-abandon. And so thinking at the forgiveness work that is required when you have realized, like when you stop and pause and look back and realize, you know what, I've been abandoning myself consistently. I keep abandoning myself to make other people comfortable, to please other people. And so when that comes up, if that is coming up for you, this is a space to just forgive that piece of you that made those decisions, that showed up in that way, and allow this person that you're showing up as now to fully step out, to fully be seen, to fully be present. I'm even looking at the 9 card, and I know we're in a 9 year. I try to remember that. So we're coming upon a lot of endings and a lot of closings, and realigning with the path that our heart centers, like our heart needs. And so thinking of different ways that you are closing out old patterns. And in the process of closing these old patterns out, being able to pause long enough to forgive yourself for the choices you used to make, and honor yourself for the choices that you are now making, or that you have been making, that have shifted this whole trajectory for you. So this one, for the manifestation, it's showers of blessings are yours. You are a rainmaker, master manifester, shapeshifter, alchemist, and sorceress. Open your hands and heart. Yes, make it rain. You are manifesting big. This has been a long time coming. You are co-creating with spirit. Match the energy frequency, the ashe of your desire. You are magnetic and like attracts like. Raise your vibration to align with sacred, with the sacred. Close your eyes and see your blessings. Feel them in your bones. Ask, believe, act, allow, and receive. Divine blessings flow to me easily. So this is the beauty of being in conversation with yourself, because earlier today I was in the kitchen. Matter of fact, while I was making this tea, and I'm getting ready to make another move. I'm getting ready to shift. And I felt it in my body. Like my legs were getting excited because I was like, ooh, like, and I remember standing there, like, I could feel it in my body. Like I'm finally getting excited about this change, about this blessing. And I realized how much I haven't been allowing myself to be in that space. But recognizing when you can feel it in your body. What does it feel like when things are like rising in you, when there's something new coming? Because you start to learn the language of how spirit communicates with you in general. Because when you start to know your own patterns, you can really get in tune with the way that spirit is communicating with you. And so when you have this feeling come over you, it's like, oh, something good is coming, like something that I need, something that will nourish me is on the way. And so you reestablish hope by understanding the language that spirit uses to communicate with you. Like I love synchronicities and animals when they pop up, happenings that just kind of like happen back to back. I love all of those things that show me like, okay, spirit is communicating with you again. So learning your language, I think, is part of that manifestation, because there was a time where you may not have recognized these things. You may not have recognized your ability to conjure, to create, to manifest, to ask for what you want and know that you will receive what you need. And you may like be sitting there like, dang, like if I would have figured this out a long time ago, or if I would have gathered this information a long time ago, I would be in a completely different place than I am now. And so in that, I want to encourage you, like you're exactly where you need to be. You know, there were things you had to learn. There were things you had to gather along the way to be in the space that you are in today. And so bringing it back to the tarot card that we had today, it was the Three of Earth. This is all about community. And because I love this deck, I am going to read what it says, because it gives you like a little snippet of the card. So this one is, threes are all about flourishing, abundance, and harmony. Okay. And so for the Three of Earth, there's like a little thing at the top that tells you, like, it gives you like a little brief, I don't know, we're gonna call it a quote. But fill your basket with companionship and collaboration. Nourish your body and savor simple pleasures. Savor simple pleasures. Like, this is a simple pleasure for me. Like, I savor these moments of making tea. And I remember yesterday, I'm like, dang, I need to invite myself back to slowing down to the process of making tea. Like, instead of just trying to make my tea to get out the door, like slowing down and being present with how luxurious it feels to make me a hot cup of something, of whatever I want, and decorating it, spicing it up, making it whatever it is that I want. And all of that cycles back into our life, cycles back into the choices we make, cycles back into how we show up. Because now I'm looking at life like, dang, I get to do whatever I want. Like, I have a purpose beyond the purpose that I once knew, because my purpose continues to expand. I continue to be introduced to new things, new people, new experiences with myself. So I'm not just that one thing. I am so many things. And so that's what I love about, again, being in conversation with yourself throughout the day, because you notice the synchronicities. Because even when I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm like, oh, earlier I had that thought. Earlier I had that thought. Earlier I was talking to myself about this. And it's giving me context to this moment with us sitting here being in community together. And so I love that. And I definitely encourage that, because, yeah, that's important. So do I want to do one more card before we go? Oh, I pulled out this one. I might as well do a card. So this is The Secrets of the Ancestors, Oracle by Abiola Abrams. Love this one. So if you're just joining, I've already started pulling. Our main card to the day for the day, and you can go back and watch it, was the Three of Earth. So the Three of Pentacles. all about gathering and nourishing yourself and being with people, like collaborating with people, connecting to people, being in community. And then we had manifestation and soul forgiveness. All right, so this is going to be our last card before we go. What's the final message for this moment, for this tea time? I got to keep my teacup in frame. Final message for this moment. Final message for this moment. Oh, did we have the final message? In collaboration conversations today. Have you been in collaboration conversations with yourself or with other people? All right, so the final card that we have came in reverse, but it's the Father of Water. This is and it's for balance and harmony. And so this is akin to the Father of Cups. And what I love about this, because everybody's been talking about ease, and I know Storytelling Tarot on their channel, they've been talking about sweetness and grabbing a hold of that sweetness. And I think seeing this cups come up, the Father of Cups specifically, speaks to this ability to get back in harmony with yourself, get back in harmony with your spirit, get back to what feels sweet. And so even thinking back to the three of earth and the description that was on that card, it is communal work. I love that. Communal work. I'm gonna invite that into this moment because it feels like what this is happening. How can you use your work in a communal space? Like how does your work show up communally? Because and just to be sharing, I had a question of the day this morning when I sat here with myself. And the question of the day would like to answer. So again, the conversation with yourself throughout the day. I was like, I'm gonna have a conversation with myself, and it's been happening. Is the many purposes I have. And so what are they? That's what I asked, is what are the many purposes? And I am just letting the day tell me what the many purposes are. And so that conversation has just been ongoing in my head. And on my channel, I love to share like stories about what I'm experiencing, because I feel like it gives context to why I'm explaining it or what I'm saying. And for me, hearing people's stories was always the most healing for me. Like, tell me about you. Tell me about the experience you had. What was it like for you when you were moving through this thing? I just love having those conversations. And so this Father of Water coming up in this moment really feels like not power over your emotions, but like the ability. Like I think of the ability, not even the control. I hate using the word control, but the ability to balance and harmonize this new space you're in. And I was listening to another reader. I can't remember. I think it was Tatiana Tarot, and she was talking about like realizing that thing that you've been asking for, that you've been waiting for, is already here. Like you already have all these things that you've been asking for. You just haven't noticed this right in front of your face. And once you notice, like, you will fully be in alignment. You will fully be at that thing that you have been hoping and praying and wishing for. And so this reminds me of that, because it feels like when you step into your ability, you step into your power to know and to see where you are and to feel where you are. It's like, wait, this is already happening. And so, yeah, all of those things. And with that communal conversation around the Three of Earth or the Three of Pentacles, I feel like that's ideal, because a lot of us need to be held right now. A lot of us want to show up doing work that we love, doing things that we love, and being amongst people that we love, because that's one of the things that you get disconnected from, are the people that you love, especially when you move away from home, you move away from what's familiar. And so I feel like life, the universe, God, spirit is trying to show you that you can reharmonize, like you can rebalance out those spaces that needed that love, that needed that nourishment. And you have the ability to, like, move into that gracefully. And it's not requiring a force, it's just requiring an intention of, yes, that's what I want. So yeah, welcoming this space of community and coming back here as often as I can. I appreciate you guys for showing up today, and I will see y'all again hopefully tomorrow. But again, like, be in conversation with yourself, be in conversation with your spirits, yourself as a community, and then extend that to your community, because that first initial conversation with self will influence what conversations you're having with other people and with the spaces that you're moving into and that you are in. And I think that's really important. So have a beautiful evening. I am going to go sit outside with my dogs and enjoy this air. And I appreciate you showing up. You are so welcome. And I will see y'all next time.